Hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of 3-Minute Tasting, where we explore and review a single bottle in the vast world of spirits. Sometimes things that remind us of sheep's wool, sometimes things that remind us of grilled meat, but they're almost always delicious. And we aspire to, in 3 minutes, to give you one main takeaway, and that should you buy the bottle now, should you buy the bottle later, or should you simply buy the bottle never? I'm your host, Mike G. This is a YouTube live version in quarantine for week 3, I think. This is my beautiful co-host, Leslie Cobos. We're going to sip something interesting today, something that's very polarizing for people. Peated Scotch. How do you feel about peated Scotch?
I actually enjoy peated Scotch, but it's always about like trying to get new people to try it, right? So I think peated Scotch is one of those things that, like, if somebody hasn't had it before, you're just like, well, try it first, and then I'll tell you what it is. Because otherwise, if you lead with, like, oh, this is peated, I think people have some sort of preconceived notion on how or what peat means, you know? So.
Well, I think a lot of people, too, there was that series of videos going around, Irish people trying Lafroig, and it's like demonizing the peat. I want to say something. The peat is good. You do not have to be afraid of it. Last week we reviewed a Del Maguey mezcal. Some people say it's smoky. Just deal with it and let it enter your life. So let's dive into today's bottle, the newly released. This is the committee version of Ardbeg Blaaack. Had to do it. So here we have the latest release from Ardbeg. Every year they give us something particularly special. This is called Ardbeg Blaaack. There were about 5 cases of this committee release, the 20th anniversary of Ardbeg special releases. Black is a nod to sheep from New Zealand. This Ardbeg, there is no age statement. This is at 50.7% ABV at a rough cost of $150, but this guy's rested in Pinot Noir casks. So we're talking about peat, we're talking about New Zealand, and we're talking about red wine. So I'm really excited to try this one.
It doesn't smell super peated. Yeah. Like, if you know what that smell is, it's not anything that's like in your face peat, which is nice. You get more of like a berry, like red berry on the nose.
It's super juicy. You know, like I saw the red tint, like when it was in the glass for once. I was like, oh, it's kind of going to taste like wine. But it has that unique spice of the peat, but it's also really beautifully level-headed and kind of like pulls you into it. It's like, hey, you want to sit down and have a drink with me? Let's do it.
It smells like a warm blanket.
And at 50.7 ABV, that's perfect. So for those of you out there that have drank peated scotches, what are your thoughts? I love the stuff we do at the house here, but some people find it very, very polarizing. But this might change your mind.
That's super good. That's really good.
And normally these releases, they're like 55 and above. So the fact that it's like super mellow.
What were the previous releases?
So Ardbeg Drum was last year, and Ardbeg in, they won't tell me necessarily, but let's just call it a Caribbean rum cask. And then year before, it was Ardbeg Grooves, actually the day that I met you, our anniversary. And it was finished in a red wine cask as well, but nothing, I think it was California, maybe recharred. So like they have this, they kind of step away from stuff once a year. And this, for some reason, is so satisfying. Yeah, Mr. 100, I love the peat too. You know, you'll see me wearing a Brooklady shirt, you'll see me wearing an Ardbeg shirt, and for those, you know, Islay, I've heard a lot of people, even on a show we're watching called The Magicians, the esteemed principal or dean of the school says, Islay. And I really, really almost came to tears. It's Islay. Just so you know. Someone was talking about how it tasted, and they said it tasted like cedar. There is a cedar plank kind of element where it's, you know, you smoke a salmon or you smoke some kind of light meat on it, and it's almost like witch hazel, so it's got like alcohol, wood alcohol kind of notes, but it always really subdues the peat where it doesn't become too smoky.
The first thing I thought of was like a grilled steak.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty rich.
Can you taste the 100 and something proof here? 101.4, I think. It's pretty mellow, right?
Yeah. Considering, like, I've been drinking some higher proof stuff recently, but I don't know if that's just me being used to it or if it's actually like really nice to sip on.
You get jammy berryness and a little bit of sweetness in it, but it never overtakes it. Like it's just this beautiful honey, like honey and jam and like a scone and stuff.
Again, that peat isn't super strong.
I can almost hardly
nice.
taste it.
Yeah, it's super nice.
I mean, I don't know what's wrong with me. You know, people eat spicy food and they keep going harder and harder. And then eventually they can't taste spice at all. I wonder if I've become the person that's had so much peat. I don't know what it is anymore. Who am I? Dude.
It's like a nice little treat, too.
Yeah, super nice. Take it out for some parties. Those people that are naysayers of peat. You know, let them in the house when this quarantine's over, of course. Have them sip on this and see if it doesn't change their mind. So now there's Leslie and I's favorite segment of the show, everything but the tasting notes. This peated scotch is like going to a family barbecue. You didn't really want to go, but you stick around for just a little bit, have a few drinks, have a little bit of food, and it turns out to be a great experience with great conversations with everybody. But this scotch is also like those crumbs of sugar and peanut butter at the bottom of that Mrs. Fields bag where you just ordered some nice, warm snickerdoodles. But really, this scotch is like Miss Maisel's dad, Tony Shalhoub, in that great Amazon show. You grow to love him, and initially he's a little bit cut off, a little bit restrained, but as he starts becoming more connected with his passions for drama, music, and art, and drinking, you really start to warm up to the character. So, Leslie, it begs the question, this Ardbeg limited release, Black, sorry, I gotta do it. Buy it now, buy it later, or buy it never. What do you think?
I would buy this now. I usually stick with like the classics whenever it comes to peated whiskeys, but for sure as like a special release, and then on top of that, it's actually really, really good. Definitely buy it now.
Super agree. Buy it now. This latest committee release, or I can't wait for the regular version too. Probably a little bit lower in proof. Ardbeg Blaaack. Really nice peat wine marriage out of Islay. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next week. We hope to see you soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.